G'day everyone, Mitch here from Who's Your Aussie. Today's July 4th, so happy Independence Day to everyone. As I mentioned in one of my last videos, it's been a while since I've actually opened up any mystery tackle boxes, so I'm going to attempt my next MTB Slam early tomorrow morning. This will be for the May box, so I'm a long way behind, but that's okay. We'll just get stuck in and get through as many as we can. So I'm actually going to go out tomorrow morning in the kayak. I'm going to fish some gravel lakes that are fairly close to my house here. We've had a lot of rain in the area recently, so I think a lot of the reservoirs and rivers and streams will be unfishable. So we'll see how we do in these gravel pit lakes. So I'm actually going to head out really early in the morning, and so that I can get on the water as fast as possible, I'm actually going to open the box now. So here we go, let's have a look in the box. Okay, so it looks like we've got some hard baits, some soft baits and some line. So let me try and find the card and we'll run through what we've got in here. Okay, so it looks as though we've got a hard bait loose in the box here. I guess that's what happens when you don't open your box for a couple of months. So the first bait we have in the box is the Kayak BD12 crankbait. So that's the box there. It retails for $7.99, and that's the bait there. So it looks as though it dives to about 12 feet or so. Okay, next we have another crankbait. So this is by Reaction Strike. It's the a 2.5 size crankbait. So that's the bait there. Next we have some copolymer line. So I use copolymer on a couple of my outfits, so that's great. So I have some, looks like I have some 12-pound test copolymer line by Vicious Fishing, and it retails for $2.99. Sorry, the second crankbait there retails for $5.99. Okay, next we have some plastic baits. So here are some drop shot worms by Cactus Wren Outdoors. Not sure what colour that is. It looks like a watermelon or something like that. So they look to be about a 4-inch drop shot worm. There's a 4-pack there. And that retails for $2.63. Next I have some swim baits from Bruiser Baits. And these are the Super Swimmer Junior. So it's a 4-inch swim bait, and they retail for $1.80 for a 4-pack. Next we have some wacky weedless jigs. So these are a wacky jig head that has a little weed guard on it. So there's a 2-pack there which retails for $3. And the last thing I have in here is just a sample of some Baitmate fish attractant. So the other things we have in the box, looks like we have a scratch off, of course a mystery tackle box sticker, and the Dibble Digest. So okay, so I'll get these rigged up and I'll run through how I'm going to fish them. Okay, g'day everyone. I'm out on the gravel pit lakes this morning. Just got here, so as you can see, it's just starting to get a little bit lighter. So I'll just quickly run through how I've rigged up the baits, and then I'll get fishing. So first up, so this is the shallow diving crankbait. So earlier on I said this was a 2.5 size. It's not. It dives 2 to 5 feet. It's actually a 1.0 size. So that's just a shallow diving crankbait. I've got that shallow diving crankbait on my just on my moderate action cranking rod, and then this is the deeper diving crankbait. I've got that on my medium heavy rod that's rigged up with 15-pound braid and 16-pound leader. So not the ideal setup for a crankbait, but because this is a slightly bigger bait that dives a bit deeper, I wanted that a little bit heavier rod. I then have that drop shot worm. I've got that wacky rigged. Let's see if I can see it a bit better. Just wacky rigged at the moment on that jig head. I'll give that a go. If that doesn't work, I might rig that worm on a drop shot. Fish jumping all around me here at the moment. And then lastly, that swim bait. I've actually got the swim bait rigged on a jig head and a beetle spin, so we'll give that a go and see how that works. So as I said, there's fish busting all around me here at the moment, so let's get stuck into them. Oh! That was a fish on. Just came off beside the boat. It was a decent sized fish too. That was on the shallow diving crankbait, which I don't remember the name of at the moment. Another bass actually followed that fish up too, so hopefully we can connect to another one here. Okay, so what's the motto of my videos? Always catch fish when the camera's off. So I just caught a little bass here with the camera off. I'll hold him up there. So that was on the on that swim bait, and as I mentioned, I had it rigged with a beetle spin. So fishing pretty shallow here, same sort of area to where I lost that fish before. It's about sort of 5-6 feet deep, with weeds coming up to about 3 or 4 feet. So I was just rolling that across the top of the weeds. Got this little fish here. So you know, not quite as big as the one that I lost, but you know, not a bad little fish. Let's get a measurement on him here. Probably about 10 inches, I guess. Let's have a look. Oh, he's 12 inches, so 12-inch fish. That's one down on the slam. All right. There we go, guys. Actually got that one on camera, which isn't too bad. Another fairly small fish. Most fish in these gravel pit lakes are pretty small, but that's on the shallow crankbait, which I'll give you the name of later. So I'm glad I got one on that after losing that bigger fish earlier on it, but not bad. It's probably a fish about the same size, 12 inches, something like that. Not too bad. So that's 2 down now, 2 to go. Pretty stoked with that.
fish on. Nice. There we go, guys. That's fish number 3. This one I've got that drop shot bait. I've just rigged that Ned rig, and I was just swimming that over the top of the grass, and got another one, probably about 11 or 12 inches again. Yeah, so that's 3 down and 1 bait to go.
Mhm. Good deal.
Looks like a better fish.
Lily and I are good luck.
It's a catfish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a small catfish on the Ned rig again.
Okay, so I'm back at home now. I managed to catch fish on 3 of the 4 lures in May's mystery tackle box, and I just thought I'd quickly run over the baits that I caught fish on, and what I liked about the baits, what I didn't like about the baits, that sort of thing. Okay, so the first fish that I caught today was on the Bruiser Baits Super Swimmer Junior. So this is a 4-inch swim bait. It's sort of in a chartreuse and green colour, and then I actually had this rigged just on a jig head and then with a beetle spin, and I was just fishing this across the top of the grass, and it was quite effective. I probably only used this for about 5 minutes, caught a fish on it, and I probably could have caught quite a few more fish on it as well. The swim bait had great action, so really liked it, and I'll probably continue to use those in the future. Okay, so the bait that I caught the second fish on was the Reaction Strike 2.5 RSC, which is a shallow running crankbait. So that's a look at the crankbait there. So I actually had a larger fish first thing this morning hook up on this, but it jumped off. So I was really happy I managed to get another fish on this. The crankbait looks pretty good. I wasn't that impressed with its action in the water. I found that you had to crank it quite fast to get any action out of it, and straight out of the box it tended to swim off to one side, so I had to try and tune it up a little bit. Okay, so the bait that I caught the third fish on today was the it's from Cactus Wren Outdoors, and it's called Talking Sticks 4-inch, so it's like a 4-inch sort of drop shot bait. So I first fished this on a wacky rig with the jig heads that were provided, but on the first cast the bait actually got pulled off the jig head because I was fishing it around weeds and that sort of thing. So I ended up then fishing it on a drop shot for a little bit. That didn't work too well either, so then I fished it on a Ned rig. I've fished the Ned rig quite a bit, so I'm quite comfortable using this. I've used it before in these lakes, and I think it was first or second cast I managed to get a fish on this. I also managed to catch catfish on this as well, so once again I think if I kept using this I could have caught a lot more fish on them. I really like the bait. It's quite soft, it has nice action in the water, it's also a good size, so I may use these in the future. And the final bait, or the fourth bait, and that I didn't manage to catch a fish on today, was the Castaic BD12 crankbait. So that's it there. So I probably fished this bait the most out of any of them today. but I just couldn't get a bite on it. So the lakes where I was fishing today, they are quite deep. They get to 25 feet deep in the middle, so the water was plenty deep enough to use this bait. I think I actually saw some fish on the sounder at that sort of 10 to 15 foot range as well. But I think that this bait is probably just a little bit big for the fish that are in that lake. So, I think I mentioned earlier in the video that most of the fish in that lake are quite small, sort of around about that 12-inch size. And I think this bait was just a little bit too big for them. So, okay, so that's about a wrap for the May mystery tackle box. Once again, I didn't manage to complete the entire slam, but I did improve on my previous slams, which is great. I managed to catch fish on 3 of the 4 lures in May's mystery tackle box. Thanks for watching my video today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please click the like button. If you like some of my other videos, please subscribe to my channel. And hopefully I'll get around to doing the June mystery tackle box pretty soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheerio.